Carbon base is a very high concentrated carbon-based product, so carbohydrates, but within that there are elemental nutrients. So particularly nitrogen, your potassium and magnesium, which are all macronutrients. You need large volumes of them, so it provides those macronutrients. In addition to that, it provides a sugar source, so a lot of sugar, and plants can use that instead of going to the effort and the expense of photosynthesis. They can directly absorb sugars, and then so for a small portion of their calorific needs, they can take the sugars from this product. Those sugars will also feed beneficial microbes that are already present in the soil or that you add in extra. Also, sugars will help with ripening and producing a good firm crop. Because it's got sugars, it will have an osmotic effect, so don't overdose, always apply the correct dose rate, and a good source of sulfur as well. So that's great. So fish base is the complements the carbon base. We don't call it an A and a B because strictly speaking, it's not like an A and a B. They can be used on their own. And in fact, sometimes when I'm growing, I'll add more fish base, maybe when I'm starting off, and then maybe add more carbon when I get really close to harvest. So they're not strictly an A and a B in the true sense. This one's going to add the phosphorus, which wasn't in the carbon, and it's also got a lot of nitrogen. But unlike the nitrogen in the carbon base, this is in the amino acid form. So the proteins from the fish are broken down, they're hydrolyzed into their specific amino acids. And that's really interesting because until the 1980s, it was thought plants can't absorb amino acids directly. They have to be broken down into what's called elemental nitrogen, or like nitrates and things like that. A team of scientists in Alaska found that actually plants can absorb amino acids. And then from that, a lot of companies started making amino acid extracts, and plants really responded to amino acids. So you'll find now amino acids are used routinely in lots of horticultural crops, even in broadacre cereal crops now. So amino acids from the fish are in there. It's sustainable. It's from it's a co-product from the fish industry. It's not vegan because it's manufactured from fish, but it is sustainable and organic. Organic microbes is our selection of beneficial microbes, so what are called plant growth promoting rhizobacteria, or PGPRs. And these always have really complicated names like Thermobacillus glucosidaceus and all these crazy things. But we've chosen 3 bacillus bacteria, and bacillus are really good for helping the plants absorb nutrients. So things like getting iron into soluble form, phosphorus into a soluble form. Also help with breaking down ethylene, which is a deleterious plant hormone in the soil, so the plants are a lot healthier. So I used to be quite skeptical about beneficial microbes, and then I was asked to do a study at Lancaster University by the professor who was my boss at the time, and he said, we've got these bacteria, we want to do a study. And I actually, from being very skeptical, I found that the increase in growth and the plant quality was far higher if you actually use these products. So I was a convert to them. This product contains 3 bacillus species. You'll see other products out there that claim or contain nitrogen fixing bacteria, like Azobacter or Azotobacter. The problem with those are that they only fix a very small amount of nitrogen and not enough for the demands of your crop. You're better off using an organic nitrogen source. And also those bacteria are very prone to dying very quickly in the bottle. Now, bacteria are dying, just like I'm dying and Mike's dying. We're all dying. If you're alive, you're dying. Our products are manufactured in the East Midlands. We bottle it in the East Midlands, and we get it out to shops like GroWell quickly. And so they don't sit on the shelves for years. And crucially, they don't get manufactured in, say, California or India, where a lot of the bacteria are made. They don't sit in a shipping container going through the Panama Canal at 60 degrees C. And all these things, like the prolonged time it takes to get to the UK, being in a shipping container at 60 degrees Celsius, all kill microbes a lot faster. So that's another great thing about this product. It's a British product, and also our product is very concentrated with bacteria. So if you look at the levels, you'll see that they can be up to 1,000 times more concentrated than some of the competitor products. The way you look at that is you look for this superscript number. So it'll say 3 times 10, and then to the power of, and then that number that's up there, if it's a 7, an 8, a 9, a 6, or a 5, will tell you how concentrated it is. And every time that number changes by 1, the actual number of microbes in there it tells you that it's increased by tenfold. So we're really happy with the concentration of the product in here. And we've got billions and trillions of microbes in this one bottle. So that's really good. Sea Silica is one of our really standout products because it's an organic silicon product. Silicon is normally an inorganic product and it can't be registered as organic. We have trawled the organic regulations to find a way we can get it in an organic form, and also a way of producing that organic in an organically certifiable way. Because of that, we've got a unique product. It has a mildly marine odor, which is a bit like scampi smell to it, and that's because of the seaweed content in there. So it's got seaweed extract that's extracted in a unique way, and so it will contain a lot of bioactive compounds from seaweed that aren't present in other seaweed extracts. There's lots of great seaweed products on the market, and I won't say that our product is the best seaweed product on the market because there's loads of good ones and there's some really cheap and cheerful ones from China, but our product is British seaweed extracted in a unique way that contains a very high concentration of silica. So it's got a silicon content here of 5.2%, which is really high even for a silicon product, even a non-organic one. And so you put this onto your crop. Why are we interested in silicon? It's not an essential nutrient. It's because it makes plants really strong and rigid, and that has been shown. Silicon has been shown to help protect plants against loads of different stresses, whether that's, so we're in an urban environment here, so ozone stress will be a big one, heavy metal stress if you've got a poor growing medium, if you're growing outdoors in the soil. Waterlogging and drought is a really good one for silicon, because if you think about it, when a plant's waterlogged or drought, it's going to be wilting. And silicon makes it like glass, so like liquid glass. When it gets into the crop, the cell walls will become rigid and just be able to resist that drought. And so when you get to the point without silicon, it would have died, that cell. Here with the silicon, it stays rigid and is able to survive. So it's a really good product. It's essential for an integrated pest management approach to controlling pest and disease. It's not going to cure pest and disease, but it's going to be one of those key foundations for controlling it. Prevention is always better, even with pesticides, it's always better. This product we not only supply into the hydroponic industry, it goes on to fields and organic carrot growers by the IBC load, so 1,000 litres at a time. Organic farmers are really into this product for the last 2 years. So the biggest organic carrot grower in the UK uses this product on his crops. Tricontinol is a fatty alcohol that's found in a number of natural sources. So it can be found in the waxes on leaf surfaces, so particularly in things like alfalfa or soybeans. It's also found in other waxy sources, so beeswax is another source. So these are all natural sources, these are all organic sources, and tricontinol has been shown in numerous reports to help with plant growth. In high value horticulture, especially in Asia, tricontinol is very popular. In hydroponics in the UK and worldwide hydroponics, tricontinol is very popular. But if you were to go to a strawberry farmer, they will have never heard of tricontinol, 99% of them. And same with broadacre farming. So it's one of these products that's really been adopted in some sectors and they've seen really good results. And in others, it's unheard of. No one knows about it. And some people have really good results with tricontinol and other people see no effect with tricontinol. So it's how it works and when it works is still up for debate. And so in the next 10 years, hopefully we'll find a lot more information about how tricontinol is helping improve yields and quality in crops. But we know in hydroponics it's very popular and a lot of people swear by it. So we produced an organic version. So normally get tricontinol from an organic source, but then you need to get it into solution, into a liquid to apply to the plant. Now that's a problem because fatty acids, fatty alcohols don't dissolve in water easily. So you normally need a solvent like acetone or even petrol, things like this. People dissolve the tricontinol in this first or a surfactant, a soap. The problem with this is the solvents are always poisonous to the plant because they strip off the waxes from the plant. The soaps, the vast majority used, contain sodium, and sodium is the #1 way to kill a plant. So I always hate using sodium-based products because I know that sodium it's like arsenic to plants. So I always avoid that. So we found a way of getting the tricontinol into solution that didn't involve any of those synthetics. And that allows us to say that this product is organic. But also, not only is it organic, we think it's a better product than the other tricontinol boosts that use those other technologies. So it's officially classed as a biostimulant, and biostimulants are allowed to be used in the UK. Some people can argue that tricontinol is a growth regulator, like a hormone, and there's no evidence that it's a hormone, but that doesn't stop people arguing the case on that front. And then there's a question of, if you apply too much of it, you can get issues. As with all these products, because they're so concentrated, always follow the dose rate. So for this product, it's 0.5 ml per litre, which is very low for a dose of a tricontinol. Yeah, you will start to get microbial growth with a lot of organic products if you apply too much of it. And that's when the smell comes in, when they start to break down and the microbes get out of control, when you get anaerobic conditions. So if you've applied so much carbon to the soil that the oxygen's used up by the beneficial microbes, then you get anaerobic conditions or anoxic conditions, and that's where your eggy smells and things like that your sulfur-based products start to be released by those sulfur-degrading microbes in the soil, so you need to be careful there. As I say, this product's great in flowering, and not only because boosts have been shown repeatedly to be really good in flowering, but also because it opens up the grow media, which can become tired after maybe 2 or 3 months of watering and maybe not watering. That grow media can become sunken, compacted, and this freshens that up. So that's really good. Calmag is a very popular product in hydroponics because a lot of the grow mediums don't contain calcium by their nature, and especially in soft water areas, there's not calcium coming in through the tap water. Now, you don't just apply calcium on its own because it needs to be in balance with the magnesium. Maybe a 10:1 or a 5:1 ratio, depending on who you speak to. Calmag products are based on things like calcium nitrate or calcium acetate, things like this. And they have some nitrogen in, but not a lot, because nitrogen is counterproductive when it comes to calcium, because calcium is about producing strong cell walls, like the silicon. So calcium and silicon together produce really good cell walls, and nitrogen is about producing lots of vegetative growth, lots of cellulose. You want to avoid things like calcium nitrate based Calmags because it'd be a neutral product. You've got the nitrogen that's going to counteract the calcium. For Calmag here, we've used dolomitic limestone, which is named after the Dolomites in Italy. It doesn't necessarily have to come from the Dolomites in Italy. It just has to be a very high magnesium product, often like a pinky limestone. And then we dissolve that up using organic acids and then produce this product. So this is a product that doesn't seem like it on the face of it because it's a Calmag, but it took a lot of development because what worked in the lab didn't work in the factory. And actually we were left with a lot of product that didn't work, and we had to give it away for free to farmers and people who keep horses and things like that. So we eventually got over those hurdles and produced a stable product that we're really happy with. I would always use a Calmag whenever I'm growing. That's just the way I would grow. So when it comes to organic growing, a lot of people just assume that pH up and pH down are organic, when in actual fact, they are some of the most harshest non-organic compounds on the market. So pH down routinely is phosphoric acid in the UK for hydroponic growers, and then pH up is normally potassium hydroxide. Not only do they add phosphorus and potassium, so you have to be careful of your nutrient ratios, but also they're extremely hazardous to yourself and to the organic microbes in the soil. So in this product we use organic acids. It's from an organic source, a renewable source. It's still classified as hazardous, so there's a diamond on that, and you do need to be careful when you use it. Use gloves, use the appropriate PPE, because just because something's organic doesn't mean that it's benign. So it's a very concentrated product. So and it will work just as well as a non-organic pH down. In large grow rooms, they'll use nitric acid, which is a horrible chemical, which I would avoid using. It's dissolve your body very, very quickly. Nitric acid. So we've got a really good product here, and it works in combination with all the other products. In actual fact, when you mix these products up, the pH is normally in the sweet spot anyway, but pH down is, will get you between pH 5.5 and 6.5 normally. We don't have a pH up in our range, which might seem unusual, but I always consider having an acidic pH in your growing medium a good opportunity to add silica. If you add pH up, you've missed a golden opportunity to add silica, because silica is alkaline by its nature. You can raise that pH and add silica, so it's a win-win for me. So I would never use a pH up. I would always, I would throw anyone with pH up, I would throw it away and use the silica, because you're always looking for opportunity to add it. And if you add a silica, you always have to then check your pH to make sure it's not too high. It's standard practice in the hydroponic industry to add silica first, check the pH, and then add the other nutrients. In reality, with these products, because they're not mineral A and Bs, that's less of an issue. But controlling your pH when it adds silica is very important, because you don't want to move out of that sweet spot. You'll get things like iron deficiency that results from having too high a pH.
So the All Mix comes in a 50 litre bag. It was introduced into the range beginning of this year. It's got about 6 weeks of feed already in it, so you don't have to necessarily start feeding it straight away. It contains 35% white peat, 35% black peat, 20% white peat fraction, and then 10% of perlite. It also includes 2 kilograms of fertilizer and 2 kilograms of activator. So it's in the bag, it's ready to go with the try it box, and you don't need anything else. You just go away with the All Mix soil. So everything is there, easy to use, perfect for entrance into the market or anyone alike. This range has got all your answers. So along with the All Mix on the substrate side, we've got a pure cocoa that is available now. In the future, probably within the next 3 to 4 months, we've got a light mix coming, we've got a bat mix and a 70-30 cocoa mix. So watch this space, because the B.O.B family are going to be growing into all sorts of different media types.